Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Now, before we get into this video, I've got to share a little bit of fantastic news. The Oxford Signet Ring Company, the company that actually made my signet ring, and I've actually had a few rings commissioned by this ring maker. They have actually been featured in British Vogue. I first heard of the news on their Instagram. So a massive congrats to them. Very well deserved. Their craftsmanship, their quality, their, very traditional British style rings. It's fantastic to see, British family companies like this doing well, succeeding, and I wish them all the best. A quick shout out to my good friend Alex there, and I totally recommend them. Anyway guys, I thought we'd start with some fantastic news, so big congrats to them. Let's roll the intro and get into today's video. Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Yes, it's finally state of the collection time. It's been a while. I think it's been about 6 months or so. I can't quite remember, but yeah, I'm not going to stick to a stringent routine about this. I'm just going to do it when it feels right. I think this is a great time to do it because there's been some dramatic changes. Now, before we get into it, I've got to do my wristwatch check. The wife is away, so I'm wearing her little Cartier tank. Feeling terribly, frightfully, awfully sophisticated in it. I don't have quite the sophistication of my wife, but just what a classy watch. I'm not sure if it's, I consider it more classy because of the people I know who, in my family, who I greatly admire, very stylish, sophisticated, educated people who I know wear this watch, and if that's the influence or whether it's just the watch itself embodies, I think it's a bit of both. It is a very classic. It's been, what, 100 years? When did it come out? 1917? Or was it 1916? Guys, do correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 100 years since the tanks. I will go back to the SKX before my wife gets home. Anyway, so wristwatch check done. Let's change perspective and have a look at the current state of the collection as of January 2017. Before we start, I'm going to run down a list of what is absent or has been sold or even given away. Now, I'm using this beautiful Squale booklet just because it's, well, obviously it's horologically related, it's beautiful to look at, and it covers the list. So let's work down the list. Now, first that has been sold, yeah, the Tudor Pinky, the Tudor Submariner. Actually, in fact, it wasn't technically sold, it was traded for a watch. I actually traded it in for the Sinn 104, and some extra money as well, because obviously the Tudor is worth a hell of a lot more. And if my good friend Chris is watching, a big thank you to you. He made me an offer I literally could not refuse, and I just jumped at the chance of getting a Sinn 104 back. I do miss the Pinky, I must admit. I really love that coloured dial. I think I will get another pink dialed watch at some point. Salmon pink is a great dial colour. Anyway, moving on, what else has gone? This is probably the most surprising, the Oris Mooney, the moon phase with the dual time and also the calendar on it. Beautiful watch. I wasn't actually intending to sell that one. Somebody just emailed me with an offer and I literally could not refuse. It's a particular model of that watch in a size that's not too common, and I really enjoyed it, and probably it's the most missed watch. But you know, guys, I've realized I'm not a dress watch guy. I'll probably get another RS into the collection, but most likely it will be a sports watch. Okay, moving on, the Seiko Saab 033. Now this actually has been absorbed into my wife's collection. She wears it more than I do. I adore that watch. I didn't want to sell it, and also now it's in my wife's collection. I still have access to it, so I can still enjoy it if I want to. It's kind of gone, but not really, you know, so I think that works out fine. My Tudor day date really has kind of taken its place. Okay, moving on, the Omega Shumi, the Speedy. Yep, it was sold as well. This was a really surprising sale. I did not intend to actually sell it, but again, I got a really fantastic offer from a friend of mine. Now, I got to explain something, guys. When I buy watches, I buy them on eBay, and I tend to buy them when I get my e-bucks in. So I buy them for significantly less than the listed price, right? So I actually made quite a profit on that. I wasn't intending to sell it, but I got a good offer and I took it. And what's fantastic is I buy a lot of watches from on eBay too, so I earn a lot of e-bucks. It's kind of like a cycle. So I just can't help making money on eBay, which is fantastic because I get to buy great watches, I have some fun, and then the Shumi is gone. I was intending it to stay as more of an investment because it is quite rare, but a viewer, a strong supporter, good friend of the channel has bought it, a Ferrari enthusiast. It's only right that he got the Shumi. Okay, so moving on, the G-Shock Mudman. Now this watch has been through the wars. It really has. It's been my workout watch for almost 2 years. Got so grimy, got so bashed up. And I have the Riseman, which I wasn't really using. So the Riseman's taken its place. I've consolidated 2 G-Shocks. There's no point in having 2 G-Shocks and one just sitting on the sidelines. So the Mudman has retired, and I only need 1 G-Shock. Don't get me wrong, I adore the Mudman. It's going to be definitely very, very missed. But like I said, I only need 1 G-Shock. Moving on. The Casio F91W, that's also been incorporated into my wife's collection. She wears it on a camouflage NATO. It's her casual watch. She just adores it, and good thing is I can still enjoy it if I want to wear it. Okay, moving on. The Charles Frodsham, of course. This is my inherited piece. This is my haute horology handmade pocket watch of my grandfather's. It started the collection. It started the passion, actually. Beautiful, solid 18-karat yellow gold pocket watch made by Charles Frodsham with incredible, beautiful hand-engraved movement. This is probably the main reason why I don't really need or lust after, well, for the moment, a high-end haute horology piece, because I already have one. And what's better than want something I inherited from an extremely prestigious watchmaker? You know, he's a watchmaker to the Queen, than Charles Frodsham. And also true to my roots, being British, of course. So that's at home. Actually, it's in the bank safe. So, you know, there's no point of having it here in New York. But it is part of my collection. Okay, moving on. Now, this is the Casio A158W. In fact, I'm wearing it right now. Let me get a good shot. I'm wearing it right there. That's also been incorporated into my wife's collection. She had the gold tone one, and now she wanted the silver or steel version, so she can match her accessories. When she wears yellow gold, she wears the gold one, and when she wears silver or steel or anything like that, she wears this one, or white gold for that matter. Okay, moving on. Last but not least, Swatch SU0B101. Now this was given away to a loved one, a family member, a dear family member who collects swatches. It was just too big for me. I adore the watch. In fact, I've bought another swatch in. Hasn't arrived yet, but I adore that watch. Just that 42mm is far too big for me. I really like the 90s size, 34mm, that kind of size. So I've given it away to a family member. You know who you are, and you're probably watching this. Ti amo tantissimo, ti voglio bene, and enjoy that stunning swatch. You know, I know this person's gonna enjoy the swatch a lot more than me, so I think it's only right. Okay, guys, so that's what's gone. Yeah, I know, a bit surprising. So let's discuss now what's left. So we'll start with the divers of my collection. Well, it's not surprising that my Squale 1521 is still here, and there it is. I just, what can I say about this watch? It's fun, it's beautiful, the Azzurro blue, it's just a much loved brand with incredible history and a list of achievements. Just a beautifully made Swiss diving watch. Nothing too fancy, you got an ETA in there, but a very original design. You guys know I'm a huge advocate of Squale, so that's definitely staying. I've said it was a keeper, and I'm still enjoying it to this day, so that's my first diver in the collection. We'll move on to the next watch, and yeah, it's no surprise, the subby is of course still here. This was my grail watch for my 30th. This is the ceramic Submariner, very robust, been on many adventures. In fact, actually, I've been seriously considering maybe selling it and buying an Explorer, a 36mm Explorer. I know, blasphemous, but I don't think I could actually go through with it. I don't know. Is it wrong to sell a grail? But I mean, I bought this watch, I saved up for it. It's my decision at the end of the day, right? I can do whatever I want. But I still am besotted with this watch. It's got the best clasp and bracelet in the business. That glide lock system is just phenomenal. Yeah, I think I'd have huge regrets selling it. But then again, I think the Explorer might tick more boxes. Anyway, so that's definitely still in the collection, the good old subby. Okay, the latest addition to my collection, this is my modded SKX. This is a 007 that's been modded with a new bezel insert, Mercedes hands, and a stunning PVD finish, the Stealthy. About to review this soon. I'm actually going to review it sooner than I expected. I know my SKX is like the back of my hand. This is actually a temporary replacement. Actually, not a temporary replacement. This is a replacement for the SKX 013 that is currently being repaired. In fact, I should have mentioned that in the list earlier. The strap choice it came on with this dark olive military NATO strap with matching PVD hardware is just perfect, keeping incredible time. I love the SKX, a true classic, true icon. I will never have a collection without an SKX in it. It's just got to be part of the collection. So there we go. Not sure what's going to happen when the 013 returns. I'm still sourcing parts for it because I'm modding it a little bit more. So I don't know if I'm going to have two SKXs, or I might actually give the other one away. We'll see where it goes. Okay, next we have a digital watch. This is my Databank that I received for Christmas, and probably part of the reason why I don't really wear this one as much. I just adore this watch, really fun, very indicative of the 80s. A true icon in its own right, with probably one of the coolest tapering bracelets and adjustable clasps. Very fun watch. I just love the way it curves. It makes me think kind of retro science fiction films like Silent Running, that kind of thing. Very fun. And I love having this as a second watch because of all the complications. Very useful. The alarms, the stopwatches, all the rest of it. I've consolidated down from a lot of digital watches to this. Okay, next we have the Riseman. So this is now my newest workout watch. This has a barometer and altimeter. Fantastic compact G-Shock, not your typical oversized G-Shock. I basically consolidated between this and the Mudman, and we have the barometer in that little circle there. Very cool watch indeed. And actually they're quite hard to come by. Gift from a viewer, my good friend Jack, who's hopefully you're watching. Hope you're well, my friend. Solar powered, fantastic, really great, robust watch. So that's my new workout watch. Okay, next we're moving on to the aviation watches, and this is my Sinn 104, my German-made Sinn with the day date, with that quite unique bi-directional bezel, the countdown bezel. It does take a bit of getting used to, but I do love it. Very useful for cooking, actually. Anyway, I've put it on this fantastic rubber strap from Marathon. It has a beautiful vanilla scent to it. It's a 40mm watch. I just love its angled panzer lugs. Just gorgeous. I really wanted a strong German-made watch in the collection. So I'm very, very happy it's back. It has surprisingly 200 meters water resistant. It's automatic, obviously, with those beautiful syringe-style hands. But it is an aviation watch, so it does sit kind of between a diver and aviation, but it is a pilot's watch, so we'll put that there. And probably my favorite aviation watch of all time, and that is of course my the Navitimer. Hugely iconic watch, predates the Subby, predates the Speedy, and I think I found one of the best straps for it. This is actually from Wrist County Watch Club. Beautiful canvas strap. I mean, what is there to say about this watch that I haven't said 1,000 times? I love it, I love it. If I had any idea how much joy and happiness this watch has brought to me, I would have bought it a lot sooner. That blue is just to die for. Fantastic chronometer accurate watch. Yeah, just love it. Just love it. So that will sit there. And now an equally iconic, well actually not equally, this came a bit later, but this is of course my Rolex GMT, the Pepsi, the GMT Master II. I've nicknamed it the Hoffman in honor of Dustin Hoffman's GMT from Marathon Man. I've since put it on a Rolex Jubilee. I managed to source a Jubilee bracelet for it, and I think it just has taken it to a whole new level of enjoyment. I really do love this watch, and I'm starting to actually enjoy it more than the Sub. And that's why I am considering maybe it's time the Sub was, sold, and maybe it's time I get a Rolex Explorer. Because I think my divers, I've got such strong divers there, there's not really much need for a Sub anymore. I think the Explorer will really fill in that gap, and especially this is now a keeper in my collection. And actually, I do wear this watch a hell of a lot. It's a real strap monster with those drilled lug holes. Very, very fun indeed. But it sits there in the aviation section. Okay, so now let's move on to my dressier watches. Not technically, not really a dress watch, but this is my Tudor Day Date. The little Henry there, which I recently had repaired at Saltzman's. They've done a beautiful job. I just adore this watch. This is my birth year watch, and to be honest, this is probably the reason why I didn't buy a Datejust, or I didn't buy a Zenith, or I didn't buy another dress watch, because this, with that beautiful linen dial, really just ticks a hell of a lot of boxes. And I love that flash of gold. It is two-tone, obviously. The Rolex crown, of course, because this is this is from the 80s, 1983. So Rolex was still signing a lot of the parts. Just a fantastic watch. And yeah, I do wear this a hell of a lot. I love the day-date complication. Very versatile indeed, and a real strap monster as well. My second dress watch, again, another gold champagne dial. This is my little Timex. Actually, it's not going right now. Let's just wind it up. I bought for $30 online. Really fun. This was actually made in Scotland before Timex outsourced all production to the Far East. Incredible little 34mm manual wind and automatic. Actually, has a wonderful sound to it. It's steel capped. It's not solid steel. I've since cut the pearl on and melted the end to really get a fantastic fit. Fun little watch. I adore it. It looks far more sophisticated and expensive than it is. Just incredible to think that I paid $30 for it. It just goes to show you can find amazingly tasteful, classic looking watches for not very much at all. My next is a bit of a wild card watch, but I'm putting it in the dress watch category. This, of course, is my Bulova Spaceview, Accutron Spaceview, sorry, and I've put it on a stunning ostrich strap from Coloreb. This really has become a kind of dress watch because it's so intriguing. It's quite small. It's not the most slimmest, but because it's a little 34mm piece and with such an incredible history, it looks like one of those kind of high-end modern pieces that's all the rage. It has that smooth sweep because of that deadly accurate Accutron technology, the missing link, precursor to quartz, of course, an amazing bit of American horological history. This was made and developed just around the corner at the former Bulova HQ, that beautiful Art Deco building in my neighborhood. Very, very special indeed. This is actually a what they call a conversion. It was made or restored from new old stock parts, but to me it's just as good as, actually it's even better than some of the ones on the used market, because they're all bashed up. This is in mint condition because it's been lovingly, beautifully put together by an Accutron watch, an expert watchmaker that specializes in Accutron. So very, very cool. So it goes with my dress watches there. Right, let's make some space because we have a few more watches to come in. Move that there, move that there. There we go. Oh, and I've forgotten another aviation piece. I should have put it with these guys. This, of course, is the Flighty, still here. I almost considered selling it, but I just love it so much. It's so fun. Very versatile piece, very robust, great complications, dual time, alarm even. And even though I have far too many Seikos, it's quite an inexpensive piece. So I think it's got to stay. It's got to stay anyway. So that goes with my aviation pieces there. Let's pop it. Let's pop it there. Almost forgot. How terrible. Let's just move those up there a bit, make more space. Okay, and here we are with the Tissot Janiero, the little Z199, I think is the reference, I might be wrong. Beautiful 1930s inspired Tissot, based on the Tissots that were released in collaboration with Lemania back in the 30s. This is a very special and quite rare watch. There were only, I think, 3,000 made of these. Yeah, 3,333, with quite an unusual movement in the back. It's basically a 7750 without the automatic rotor. Forget the precise movement, but I have reviewed it. Really cool manual wind chronograph with the telemeter scales, and they've even aged the date to make it look vintage. And of course, I had to put it on a distressed collar just to really keep that vintagey, that's not even a word, to keep that deco era patinaed look. Stunning watch, very special. This is actually a rebuy, a little 37mm size, so quite traditionally sized, but perfect for me. Look at those gold tone hands and the beautiful dial, just very unique indeed. Lovely chronograph, just love it. Oh, and that manual wind with that little onion style crown, just fantastic. So yeah, that's definitely staying. Okay, last but not least, the Seiko Giugiaro, a racing watch. I recently did a video about this, my loves and hates of this watch. Very special indeed. I've had this particular piece a year now. What more is there to say about this watch other than very unique, very fun. It's been in the Alien movie, of course. It's quite famous now with this incredible bracelet. Technically, it's not the most highest end watch in the world, but it is an important part of watch design and horological history. Giugiaro, of course, is the famed Italian car designer. It brings a level of enjoyment that not that many watches do, so that's definitely staying. So I'll put that there. Oh, and I almost forgot. Last but not least, this is a racing chronograph. There's a little Straton Curve given to me by my good friend Kyle. A fantastic little quartz chronograph. Very fun. Beautiful domed sapphire crystal. Actually, I've got to wear this more often. Almost forgot. But yeah, definitely part of the collection now. Okay, so there we go. That's the collection as it stands right now. January 2017. Let's take it back to the studio. So, quite a dramatic change. Now, just to kind of recap a little bit, before Christmas, the collection had swelled, had mushroomed into 23 pieces. 8 have gone, so I'm down to 15, well, 16 including the Frodsham, even though the Frodsham is the only one not present. So it is quite a dramatic, not quite to the 12 I had aimed, but you know, there's still, 11 months in the year. I don't know if I'm ever going to get there, but I'm going to try. I'm going to introduce a new rule to my collection, and that is very simple. I'm not going to add anything unless something is taken away, preferably more than one piece. I think the consolidation is a really cool thing to do. With the Speedy gone and the Moon phase, I'm contemplating combining the two, and probably a good medium-term goal maybe for this year is a Speedmaster with a moon phase complication. That way I get that very dressy complication that I've always lusted after, but in a iconic chronograph that I love. You know, that's a possibility. Guys, do recommend any Speedmasters you think I should look at. Another thing I am definitely going to do is, I'm too chronograph heavy, I'm too Seiko heavy. The SKX is going to stay, undoubtedly, that's keeper. It's between the Giugiaro and the Flighty. One of them has to go. I think it's going to be tough, but sometimes you have to be ruthless. And I'm feeling more positive. I'm feeling a bit happy about the whole collection. I don't have that collection anxiety. First world problems, right? First world problems. But yeah, I do feel less and more concise is better. And I'm starting to understand, and actually I think the collection is currently now, in my opinion, to me, the best that it's ever been. I'm very happy with the lineup. The speedy going was a bit of a shock, probably more than the rest, but you know, my go-to chronographs, the little Janiero, the little Tissot, and the Navitimer, of course, and with the Giugiaro as well. It's a crowded genre in the collection. I would immediately go to those instead of the speedy. When a watch is not being worn and it's laying dormant, no matter how much I love it, it's got to go. You know, I have to be a bit ruthless sometimes. You know, I have to be a bit tough love, right? Has that changed my goals for the year? I think definitely my long-term goal, the Langmatic, by Lange & Zon, I do apologize. That's never going to change. That's always going to be there. That's always going to be my long-term goal. One day I will own that watch. Medium term, yeah, probably a speedy with the moon phase, possibly a Navitimer with the moon phase. In that case, the Navitimer will have to go. Definitely a Rolex Explorer. Guys, let me know your opinion. Is it a big mistake getting rid of the sub, getting a Rolex Explorer? You know, I can't add. Something has to go. Otherwise, it will mushroom, you know, it will start, you know, I'll get a repeat what happened last year, and I don't want to start adding numerous pieces and having the collection blow up again. It's just, you know, after this recent purge, I'm feeling better about it. So, yeah, and one thing I must point out, guys, all the watches have been reviewed, so have a look back in the archives, with the exception of the new SKX. I'm going to be reviewing that very, very soon indeed, so stay tuned for that. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm going to leave it there. Please don't forget to add your thoughts, queries, comments, opinions, all the rest of it down in the comments below. I really do appreciate your feedback. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful. It really does help me. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.